Hey traders, welcome back. So we're continuing on from this theme of top trading tips. If you haven't seen the previous video, go back and check it out. This is just following on from that. So we last talked about knowing when to switch off. It's kind of, when to managing your emotional capital and managing your focus and all those kind of stuff. So the next one I've got is, and this is a big one as well, is don't dwell on your mistakes. Now I'm going to ask you a question. How many times have you made a mistake in trading? Okay, I don't think there's anybody out there, unless you haven't traded before, or you haven't made a mistake, whatever mistake that may be. Now, I'm cautious about using the word mistake because sometimes people are going to put a loss in the category of a mistake, and ultimately that's not true. A loss isn't really a mistake unless you've made a mistake in executing your trading plan. However, the point is I want to make here is that if we define mistake as, let's say you haven't stuck to your trading plan, let's say you've done something that you really shouldn't have. I'm getting caught up on my microphone while here. Let's say you've done something you really shouldn't have in trading. Don't dwell on it. At the end of the day, that's the worst thing you can do from a trading perspective, is say, listen, I've made a mistake here. I chased this, or I added too much position size into this, or I traded too much, or I lost too much, my size was too, whatever it may be. You've done it. Right, the point is now is just to take steps to make a solution for not repeating that mistake. You probably are going to repeat it a couple of times in a row. That's trading, guys. Hopefully you won't, and hopefully it won't be too catastrophic. But that's the name of the game, is to stay in the business for as long as possible. Just on a sort of side note here, the reason that most people aren't successful, in my opinion, in trading is they're not in the game long enough. They run out of capital, or they run out of enthusiasm for it, and because they're losing and they don't stay in the game. If they were to lose a little bit, but still within the realms of the capital they've got, still being kind of enthusiastic for it, they'd get over that plateau and start to kind of make some money out of it. Listen, not everyone's going to be making multi-millions in trading, but there's plenty of people out there who are making good livings out of it, good extra incomes, all the way up to like the really big players. There's a place for you in that slot. So don't dwell on your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. As long as you can put aspects in place not to repeat that mistake, I think that's quite an important thing. Be careful not to write on my face there. Itching my nose, that wouldn't have been a good look on the video, would it? Anyway, you get the point. Don't dwell on it. Move on, put things in place to try and rectify it. Don't beat yourself up about it. And, always be thinking ahead is kind of what I put here in the notes, is that, if you're looking in the past and the failures all the time, you're never going to give yourself the credit that you've got. You've actually come quite far. If you've been trading for a while, you've made a lot of mistakes, but, compared to where you were at the very beginning, you've made progress, even though it may seem like you haven't if you're measuring it from a financial perspective, i.e. your account balance or whatever. So the next one, which kind of goes on the same track, and you can see the sort of theme we've got here with these kind of things, is that it's psychological, it's discipline, it's that sort of approach, as opposed to really, setups and strategies. Although this one is really the odd one out of the bunch, but it kind of fits in really, because it's all about managing your approach and managing the resources that you've got as a person to put into these things. So what's the next one I've got on my list? The next one is to be honest with yourself, right? Now this is a funny one. Be honest with yourself about your trading. I'm not going to write all that, blah, 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 blah. And others about your trading. Now listen, this may not apply to you, but it might apply to just one of you who's watching this. What I mean by this is, listen, if you're not making money at trading, or you're struggling, or there's a problem with it, or you're not making as much as you'd like, having the honesty to say, listen, I am losing money. It doesn't necessarily mean anything on the trader that I am. It doesn't necessarily mean anything about the person that I am. It's just the learning curve I'm going through. If you were to stick you into, let's say, a medicine degree or something like that, or I don't know, let's do something that's I'm familiar with, learning to fly a plane, right? If I'd stick you in day one and stick you in a plane and say, off you go, go and navigate down to this airport, land, do all the things you've got to do, refuel, come back up. The chances of you making that are pretty slim, without any training whatsoever. Even if you've had a couple of lessons, the chance of you being able to do all that successfully, properly, do your radio calls, your navigation, your landing, all the other things you've got to do as a pilot, it's not going to happen, right? It's the same thing as a trader. You go straight in, and the fact that you can actually make a trade, anyone can make a trade. You can come on, you can click a button, you become a trader. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to make the money that you want to make in trading. So being honest and say, listen, I've only been at this for X years, or I've been at this for X months, or whatever it may be. Some people have, will get this very quickly. Some people are, are very good, get within 6 months or so, and all of a sudden they found themselves a little niche. I believe that if you follow some of the steps that other traders, not just me, other traders as well, have been through and kind of use those tips to guide you, you can shorten that learning curve, most definitely. But the point is, if you're honest with yourself and you're saying, listen, I am losing, I'm not pretending that I'm this big trader. You need to say to yourself, I am losing at the moment, but I'm taking steps to improve it. Too many people get caught up in the whole premise of, yeah, I'm doing fine, I'm making money, but they're not looking at the bigger picture and saying, well, actually, okay, I've had a spell of winners, but in reality, and I'm still down ever since I've started, or whatever it may be, or I've had these could actually damage me, these trades, because I've got away with them this time with luck. But ultimately, if they went wrong, they're going to wipe me out. It's that honesty that you can improve, because and this may not be relevant to you at all. Obviously, this is quite a broad thing that I'm talking about, but I do know of people who are, the saying of fake it till you make it. That's fine in some aspects of life. Perhaps if you're starting a restaurant or a business or something, and you need to kind of pretend you know what you're doing to get the customers in, fair enough. But with trading, it's only yourself you're talking to. So being honest with yourself and saying, listen, that strategy is going to wipe me out at some point. It may well look good on paper now, but I know deep down that I'm going to get caught out on that kind of thing. So I need to evaluate it if I want to kind of be a better trader. And the last one, I'm not going to put it on the board here, is this may be relevant or may not be, but I've got on the notes here, is kind of imagining the trader that you want to become without going too deep into this kind of topic. But at least you can go down. The trouble is, I think you have with trading is that, or I don't think it's a trouble, it's just something that happens, is that there are so many different ways of trading. There's so much people out there appear to be smashing it in the markets. You look on social media, look on this, look on that. There's not much honesty, unfortunately, in the industry. And it can be easy to kind of get sucked into different pathways. But if you imagine the trader you want to be, and I go back and check out some of my previous videos about, kind of the time you've got to put into it, the money, all those kind of stuff. If you're sticking with that pathway and say, listen, I want to be a part-time swing trader, I'm running a business, blah, 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 whatever it may be, or I want to become a full-time day trader, whichever path you want to take, stick to it. So keep that in your mind as you're improving. So every incremental improvement you're making, it's all to do with getting to that end goal of becoming that trader and not getting distracted by, someone seems to be doing very well day trading gold, or someone seems to be doing very well selling options, whatever it may be. If sticking on that pathway, going where you want it to be, keeping focused and keeping that in your head of the trader you want to be. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. I've got the next video coming up and give a sneak peek now of what we're in there. Talking about, this is a really interesting one. If you trade from home, you've got to look at this video. I'm talking about work, home life separation. I traded from home for a long time. Then I traded from several offices. Then I went back to home. Then I went back to an office. I've done a lot of these things. So I know the deal when it comes to trading from home. So check out the next video. If you like this kind of video, hit like, subscribe. Welcome to subscribe if you like this kind of stuff too as well, and be alerted to all the new videos that come out. But anyway, next video we're going to talk about work, home life separation. Perfect if you're a home-based trader.